Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we have an excellent guest. Let's welcome Antoinette, all the way from Atlanta, I believe. Right?
Yes.
How are
Hello.
you, how are you
Hello.
doing? How are you
I'm
doing?
amazing. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to our show. And would you like to just go over a little bit about yourself? I know you are an amazing international author and you have two books. So go ahead and give a little more description to my listeners and audience, please.
Yes, I am a international author and multifaceted media professional. I am the founder of the AIM Agency. We're a creative agency that focuses on brand development and lead generation strategies. We take our clients from idea to brand, brand to business, business to elevation and profits, meeting them where they are to
Hmm.
help them achieve their next level business goals. Um, I do a lot of different things. I'm a life and business coach and all about positivity. Recently ended a tour for my book. It starts with I Affirmations book.
Hmm.
And you can look forward to my new book coming. It starts with I Intentional Living.
Excellent, excellent. And I would like to ask you, how did you start your journey, and when did you start?
Well, I've always been a person that was focused on self and moving forward. I
Mhm.
had a different type of childhood. I grew up separated from my parents and from house to house with different families and things of that nature. And I learned early on that I was going to have to depend on myself and fully focus on all the greatness inside of me to let that guide me
Mhm.
to my next moment. So that's really where it all started, early childhood.
Wow, wow, amazing journey. And with all what you went through, you made it possible not only yourself to achieve greatest heights, but also inspire so many around you. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I always tell anyone if I can have an impact on just one person to do better, be better, think better, feel better, want better,
Mhm.
that's good enough for me. I just want to help the next person if at all possible, just by being an example, because in reality, I'm still growing. I'm growing while going.
Excellent, excellent. And that is a beautiful concept that you are growing and going. So when you, and also because you are listening to so many and you are getting good things, positivity from so many different angles, that is really propelling you to the new heights, right?
Yes, yes.
Excellent. So tell me also about, you said your childhood was difficult, right?
It was. It was.
Would you like to share some of that with our?
Sure. Um, when you're a kid, you don't always know that something is abnormal right away until you get a little bit older in age. So I could definitely say that when I was separated from my parents early on in life, I didn't actually know that um,
Mhm.
there was something abnormal about that. But as I got older, not having that close connection, that bond with my parents, I definitely think that that had a major impact on the emotional part of my growth because I did grow up somewhat of an angry kid. Um, I knew I had gifts and talents and I would use them, but I still was sometimes,
Mhm.
standoffish and just not as connected and social as I could have been had I not had those things. Um, those things that transpire early on in childhood, they definitely have an impact on who you become as you grow into adulthood. Um, it's things that you want to work on and have to, focus on healing from because
Mhm.
there's a lot of trauma that was there, mental abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic violence throughout my teenage and adult years, in relationships, and it all stemmed from things that started inside of the home.
Mm. And that is true. Home is where you actually learn the, if language of love. You're supposed to start with that. And then unfortunately there are some situations where kids don't have that all just love. They have unfortunately some other parts, and which gets imprinted on someone, and that can carry really a deep thing later in life, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so yes, I mean, my heart goes out for that. Definitely, you definitely had quite a difficult childhood, and for all kids who are out there and who are thinking that this is a nightmare, yes, it is nightmare. But look at Antoinette. This is a great story that kids should look up and say, no, we will not put up with this, and we will become what we are destined to become, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, when you're going through it, it
Hmm.
can feel like, oh my goodness, I won't make it. This is too hard.
Hmm.
But those are the words and the voices of people, other people, not you. Because
Hmm.
your voice should be telling you you can make it and you will make it. It's tapping into your I power and your I perspective of, I can do this, I will do this, I got this, I'm doing this.
Hmm.
And when you tap into that part of yourself, there's an awakening that happens inside of you that's like a fire that won't burn out. And you just go and you keep going no matter what. You take the time to recognize and acknowledge things that are happening, whether it be emotions or things that are happening around you, but taking on the mindset of everything is happening for me and not to me is a big difference maker. When you see things from that perspective, it's easy to it's easier to use it as a stepping stone over something that's holding you down and holding you back.
Mm. And that is beautiful that there, and the inner strength is actually something which I wish there was any gauge which somebody might have and say, I have this much inner strength, or I can go this far. But to everybody's surprise, I would just like to share this famous experiment from, I think, one of the Ivy League university, I think it was Harvard or something, that was done in 1950s, where they actually watch few mice, not the experiment, I would say, to repeat it now, but they try to put that animal in water and try to see how many times they try before they give up. So
Mhm.
they gave up, first few, but then they kind of try to save them a little bit and give them hope and see how longer they live. So, to biggest surprise, it was not that they lived or struggled few hours more. They struggled 4 days more before they finally gave up and
Wow.
drowned. So that, yeah, it might look that we might give up next hour or so. No, really, if we have hope and if we believe that we can make it, we can make 100 times more, because it's our inner strength,
Yeah.
which there is no gauge. We don't know. I don't know what my inner strengths are, and your till we believe in positivity, till we have hope.
Yes. Definitely. It's a must. I don't There's nothing that I don't think I can do that I want to do. I mean,
Mm.
obviously it's within reason. I don't think that, I can build a new house in one day or anything,
Mhm.
that not within reality. But
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I can do anything I put my mind to. And I'm saying that if I can know that about myself,
Hmm.
anybody can tap into that and use that we're not certain, we're not sure. Like, do I believe I'm sitting inside the house, or do I know I'm inside the house and that's the outside of the house? I know that I can do this, and anybody can, in whatever that it is that you want to do.
And that is true. So, and for other people, so everybody might, they might think that, that person might give up, but who is going through, if they have some positivity vibes. And so that's why we always actually encourage people to look out for not what others are saying or what others are expecting of you, but actually what positivity somebody gives you. Just listen to that. Don't count on others that who are sitting there to watch you fall, right?
True, true. You got to weed out the negative people, the naysayers.
Mhm.
I have a thing. Instead of listening with your ears, listen with your body. Listen with your energy and your body feels. When you walk into the room and you speak to everybody in the room, if there's a inkling of a negative feeling, why is that there? When you walk into a place, if you
Mhm.
feel good, it's like, you know what, I feel good, then that's a place to be. But if you walk into a place and for some reason you just feel bad or nervous about something or just negative, why is that feeling there? Maybe your body is telling you that that's not what you need to be doing. And you use that with people, places, things, all things. Listen to your body. Your body knows.
Mhm. And I will always say, if your group does not motivate you, then get out of that group.
Yep.
That is not the group, that is a jail,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So your fellows around you, if they don't motivate you, and then I'm sorry to say, you might have to look for other friends.
Yeah. There's a thing where your friend, people have this thing like, oh, how's your new little car? How's your new little business? And blah, blah, blah. Like, I tell my people, ain't nothing little about your business. You got a big business. Like, it's certain things we got to pay attention to what the people around us are actually saying. You know what I mean? Because words have power.
Mm,
We are whatever you say is you casting a spell to some degree. So are you going to cast a positive spell or a negative spell by saying something negative about someone or positive to someone? And
mm,
our friends, our people that are around us, they
mm,
kind of they matter. It matters who you have in your surroundings because that's what's going into your ears, which is going into your brain, which is now being a part of your mind, which is going to come be a part of your vision and come out your mouth. So you want to control, you want to pay attention to who you have around you and what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're eating, what you're putting into your spirit. Everything matters.
mm,
Everything. It's not anything about what we experience on this journey should be taken lightly.
mm.
They say, "Oh, it's just a TV show." No, it's not. You're watching that stuff on that channel and it is penetrating through your brain and your spirit because it's entering your body. It's
Yes, and that is a beautiful thing. And your mind actually reads exactly what you are feeding it. So, so that's why we always say be positive, because once you become negative, then everything is shut off. Your body shuts off one by one. But if you are positive, then you will see, even you don't might not see the total way out, but because there's light at the end of the tunnel, then you will seek that strength. Yeah.
yes, yes.
So that is very important. Also, tell me a little bit about your books.
Well, It Starts With I is a affirmations book that focuses on self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth.
Mm-hmm.
They were the areas of life that I focused on for most of my journey. And one day I had a mishap that happened, saw my significant other with another woman, and I was upset. So instead of me allowing myself to be mad, I said, I'm going to write my affirmations. And when I got to the 11th affirmation, I heard a voice clear as day said, "This is a book." So, me being a branding person and a graphic designer, I got up and organized it like a book and started to fill those pages. And 3 days later, we had a book. So that is that. I knew that I needed to use my affirmations to change my mindset that day. And normally I just say them, but this particular day I just started to write them all out on paper because I needed to write them.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that was the reason why we have that book. It's definitely affirmations that I'm still using today.
Mhm.
And I encourage people, whether you're using my affirmations or your own, affirm every single thing that you want in your life, whatever
Mhm.
it is. Affirm it.
Mhm. So basically, you said it started with your journey where your significant was with somebody, but you still took it more towards your positivity in terms of making sure you do actually build yourself and not to just cry over this situation, right?
Absolutely.
And that is a positive message here for everyone. Everybody can have that day. Unfortunately, we are all humans, and when we do sometime end up with situation where there's not nobody's fault or nobody's deserving it, but I think it's still we have to look at ourselves and say, either we are going to be overwhelmed with that situation or whether we are going to channelize it to a higher standard, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that's a great message. Also, tell me a little bit about your second book. You said it's going to be out soon.
Well, this book is sort of like a repeat. I guess we should call it a series because it too is also called It Starts with I. But this time it's not about affirmations, it's about intention.
Mhm.
It's about teaching you how to live an intentional life, how to have that intentional lifestyle. You want to live like this? Let me show you the steps of how to live like this. Do these things, focus on these things to have that life that you want. And it's not as hard as people think. There are very simple techniques and strategies to implement into your everyday life to literally live the life you want. And I'm a witness of this because I'm doing it. And people, if you follow me on, well, you all may not have been following me yet, but those that have followed me on social media, you can clearly see that it happened. Literally, it was a switch, and I literally was just living out my dreams just like that.
Mhm. Also, tell me a little bit about what were things which you found were helpful through your journey with this. Was that a particular family, friends, or anything you would like to share with
That was helpful to what exactly? I'm sorry.
towards your positive journey, towards your goal?
Well, I would say that it was always when you have negative things happening,
Hmm.
you got to have something to look forward to keep you, going on to the next moment. So for me, I was always wanting to keep going. There's something in front of me that's going to keep me moving forward. Um, I'm a to myself type person. I have all these skills because when I needed help, most of the time it wasn't anyone able to help. I needed a website, no one willing to help me, so I had to learn how to do it. Need and I got used to that. So I'm used to doing what I need for myself. I believe that not I believe. I know that when you come here, you don't need anything. You don't need mother, father, sister, brother, you don't need school. You don't need anything. Everything that you will ever need to be successful is already inside of you. You just have to tap into your eye power, your eye perspective, and get in tune with who you are at your core. And when you do that, everything you need will happen just how you need it to. Most of my accomplishments were not even dreams that I had, they were things that were gifted to me because I was already on my journey of following my path because I knew who I was. It wasn't about these things. It wasn't about these jobs or these projects and these accolades or accomplishments I was having. It was simply about me being 100% happy with living life on my terms. And I had to figure out a way to do that because there was a lot of things happening around me that wasn't on my terms. A lot of things that had already happened prior to me being an adult that wasn't on my terms or against my will. So it was important to me to figure out how can I live the life that I want to. And one day I decided I was going to do everything that made me happy. When I was in the music industry, I
Hmm.
loved being a singer and a rapper. That made me happy. I did it to the best of my ability, and I've done a lot of things in it. When it stopped making me happy, I stopped doing it. I did something else. And that's really what my resume shows. I have all these skills because I do what makes me happy in that time. And
Right.
anybody can do that.
Yeah, and that is a very important message. Is you don't count on any person, count on yourself and count on your strengths. And yes, and we all can, sometimes things might be better in terms of that we think that, oh, this is your life, and or that's the end of your life, or either way. But nobody knows that you have a lot of skills too, and I think you're yourself kind of underestimating that all the time, because you think that, maybe like you said, you were a musician, but you didn't give up on that, and then you are now international author.
Yes.
Who would have guessed that few years back? Nobody, right?
Right. Right. It to be honest with you, it's so funny because my very first sale of my book sold internationally. The very first sale. And you never know what your tomorrow looks like unless you affirm it and know that it's on the way. That's a different thing, because you can bring into your life what you want. But if you just focus on positivity and the things that make you happy, I'm 100% sure that the things that you want will happen for you. I
Ex-
can't say that they'll happen the time that you say is going to happen. If you can't, I'm not saying you're going to say I'll be a millionaire in 5 seconds. No, it don't work like that. But it does work when you envision what it is that you want, you affirm it, you speak it, you expect it to happen, and you move your feet in the direction of that thing being exactly what you said it will be.
mm. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, that's very nice. Okay, great. I think really great journey. And also, any final thoughts or final things you would like to share with my audience?
I just always like to tell everyone, always stay in tune with who you are.
Mhm.
Focus on getting in touch with your I perspective and your I power. When you do that, there is nothing that can stop you, and show up authentically you, no matter what that looks like.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming to our show, and good luck to your book and journey. And please come back and share more, and we wish you more books to come. Okay,
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's been a
take
pleasure.
care. Take care.
Bye for now.